Today I'm going over the last section in chapter 1 called Distortion of Miracle Impulses. Before I start describing today's section, I want to remind everyone that while practicing this course, because it can seem really heavy, and parts of it can seem very, dark and difficult, but the real truth is that the way to wake up and to really learn this course is through laughter. The course tells us that when we had the tiny mad idea, we simply forgot to laugh. We forgot to laugh at our silly idea of being separate from God. So while we think we're here in this dream, one of the key ingredients to waking up is laughter, is finding the humor and the joy in life. So I just want to remind everyone how important laughter is. Remember to keep laughing our way through the heavy messages of the course. All right, so this very last section in chapter 1 is called Distortions of Miracle Impulses. Okay, first paragraph. It says, your distorted perceptions produce a dense cover over miracle impulses, making it hard for them to reach your own awareness. The confusion of miracle impulses with physical impulses is a major perceptual distortion. Physical impulses are misdirected miracle impulses. All real pleasure comes from doing God's will. This is because not doing it is a denial of self. All right, so what is this telling us? This is telling us that we confuse miracle impulses with physical impulses. Physical impulses are coming from our ego self, our belief in our ego self, and miracle impulses are coming from our Christ self, the true self that we are, being one with God, extending love eternally. So that is our true self. And when we're here in this illusory world and we're confused about who and what we really are, we are often seeking pleasure from the physical, from the pretend world, the illusion. But it's telling us that all real pleasure comes from doing God's will, which is another way of saying that when we know who and what we really are, we are doing God's will. Okay, it doesn't mean you have to figure out like your mission in life or you got to get out there and save the world. There is no world. All we need to save is our split mind. And we don't even really need to save it. We just need to take the obstacles away that are covering up our truth of who and what we really are. Okay, paragraph 2 says we were created to extend the love of God. And it says, the love of God for a little while must still be expressed through one body to another because vision is still so dim. That just means that as long as we think we're here in this illusory world and we think that we are these bodies, then that's when we must still express our godly self through our body, from one body to another body. But it's all a dream. We're just practicing. It's like, just pretend. It's the rehearsal, it's the run through before we remember who we really are. And we remember, oh, we've been doing this all along. I don't have to practice. I don't have to learn how to do this. This is who I actually am. So then it says in paragraph 2, you can use your body best to help you enlarge your perception so you can achieve real vision, of which the physical eye is incapable. Learning to do this is the body's only true usefulness. So the one and only purpose of our bodies is to overlook the bodies and know that we are not bodies. That's their one and only use. Okay, paragraph 3 tells us that our egos use fantasy and distortion to try to control reality to meet false ego needs. But no matter how hard we try, we cannot make our false perception real. We believe the fantasies we make. However, the more we offer miracles, which means just remembering who and what we really are, which is just an extension of God forever in heaven. So the more we offer miracles to the illusion, the more we strengthen our belief in truth. Okay, so it tells us that fantasies of any kind are distortions because they always involve twisting perception into unreality. Actions that stem from distortions are literally the reactions of those who know not what they do. Okay, so that's all of us. That's all of us here in ego form who have no idea that we are not these bodies and we are not these egos. We know not what we do. So that's why continuously offering miracles, which is just remembering the truth, is the way to undo it. It's so that we can start to know what we are doing and who and what we really are. That's the purpose of practicing miracles. It says the strength of your conviction will then sustain the belief of the miracle receiver. Okay, so it's our conviction, it's our willingness to keep remembering over and over again, our willingness to remove the blocks of the ego over and over again that allows us and the receiver of the miracle, which is everyone and everything, because there's only one of us, that allows us to remember who and what we really are, to keep reinforcing the truth of the one child of God, of what we are. So it's our conviction, our willingness to keep practicing the miracles, to keep practicing forgiveness. So it says, as long as a single slave remains to walk the earth, your release is not complete. Meaning, as long as one single appearance of a fractal of one of us thinks that we're separate, it's not complete yet. It's not complete until we all wake up, until we all realize that we're not really here, we're not really bodies, and that we're really one with each other and God. That's what we're doing here, and it's not complete until everyone is awake. It says complete restoration of the sonship is the only goal of the miracle-minded. That's all we're trying to do. We're simply trying to wake up. We're simply trying to remember who the one child of God really is. That's the only purpose of the miracle. That's the only function of bodies, is to simply remember. Paragraph 4 says, this is a course in mind training. All learning involves attention and study at some level. Yes, this is a course in mind training. Now, there are some people who are afraid of that. Oh, it's mind control. But they don't understand that the ego has already mind controlled them. We're already under mind control of the ego, and we're just looking to undo that. So this is a beautiful mind training that we are going through with the course. It's an undoing of false beliefs. It's an undoing of the lie of fear. So let's see, paragraph 4 is telling us that studying and understanding of these early sections in the course is extremely important to be able to prepare for the journey of atonement that the rest of the course will take us on. It warns that our ego will become too frightened otherwise and won't be able to make use of this course. So that's what paragraph 4 is basically telling us. It's telling us that the early sections of the course, which we are going over now, lay the foundation for the later teachings of the course. When we get even further into the undoing of the ego, it's going to terrify the ego, and the ego is going to fight it tooth and nail. So that's why it's saying to really have conviction in understanding and practicing the messages of these early sections so that we can solidly lay that foundation so that the rest of the course will help us to continuously undo the ego without the ego becoming terrified and completely giving up, which often happens. And I'm sure many of you out there, if you have been studying the course for a long time, there are probably periods of time that you gave up on it. This is natural. This is our ego fighting back. This happens to all of us. I mean, I myself never quit studying the course as far as just like, oh, I'm, getting rid of these books and I'm not reading them. I've been reading them steadily for many, many years. But there are definitely times throughout my day, each day, where, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to keep remembering the truth. I just want to have my little temper tantrum and be my ego. And that's okay. We need to have patience with ourselves and allow ourselves that breathing room as we slowly undo a false belief of who we are. Okay, paragraph 5 tells us that we need to ease our way into this course. I mean, that's basically what I was just saying. Ease your way into it. Be gentle with yourself. Be forgiving with yourself. Remember to laugh. It's funny. It's funny what we've done. In some ways it's not funny and it feels very painful and terrible. But at the end of the day, when you realize that nothing's here and how drastically we've tricked ourselves, is like the biggest practical joke we could possibly play upon ourselves, it can also be very funny. So remember to laugh. That's what the Course tells us to do. We simply forgot to laugh at the tiny mad idea. It's silly. All right, what else is paragraph 5 saying? I have said that awe is inappropriate in connection with the sons of God because you should not experience awe in the presence of your equals. However, it was also emphasized that awe is proper in the presence of your Creator. All right, we covered that in one of the earlier sections of chapter 1, where it talks about how awe is appropriate for your connection with God. Awe is appropriate with that when you are in communion with God, but awe is not appropriate in connection with Jesus or with any of our brothers. We should never be in awe of them. We are the same as them. And that is important for us to understand as we're starting to understand who we really are. It says, I have stressed that awe is not an appropriate reaction to me because of our inherent equality. Okay, once again, Jesus is telling us, I'm the same as you. Do not be in awe of me. Healing is of God in the end, and the means are being carefully explained to you. Revelation may occasionally reveal the end to you, but to reach it, the means are needed. So this tells us that these tools, like miracles, are needed in order to wake us up. That we may have moments, where we occasionally have that communion with God, where we have that revelation and communion with God. But in the end, we need to keep practicing until we reach that final goal, which it told us in an earlier paragraph, is for everyone to wake up, for every single mind to wake up and remember who and what it really is. That's the ultimate goal. So until we reach that goal, we're going to need miracles. Miracles are the tool that we use in order to wake up. That's what they are for. That is their only function. In reality, miracles are not needed. The miracle is only for the asleep ego mind. That's it. That's what it's for. It's a tool to wake up that false split mind. All right, so once again, remember to laugh. Remember to be gentle with yourself. Remember that this is just a dream. Remember that nothing's actually here. Remember that we are just practicing. We are just using this virtual reality game for the purpose of waking up. That's it. That's what we're here to do. So have fun while you're playing the game. Bye.